About the conflict, the creation of a January 6th commission, and the 2022 midterm election in an exclusive interview. You're joining us live right now from Washington, D.C. to tell us more about Scott's position on all of these issues.
Yeah, well, Senator Scott has not called for a ceasefire in Israel, and he maintains that the country has every right to defend itself. Israel faced mounting pressure all week to accept a ceasefire with the militant group Hamas. Senator Rick Scott was not among those urging Israel to stand down.
Don't want to call out Hamas for what they are. They're a terrorist organization. What they're doing is despicable. So I'm going to continue to stand for Israel.
What would you say to people who are looking at this conflict and they see the children and the civilians that are being impacted in Gaza and say that there's a disproportionate amount of violence happening?
First off, your heart will go out to anybody that's whether they're in Israel or whether they're in Gaza. No one wants to see the loss of life. But let's look at the difference. Hamas sends rockets into Israel and doesn't give any Israeli citizen forewarning. Israel, when they wanted to tear down, shoot down a building, they told everybody to get out first.
Scott spoke to Spectrum News a day after Democrats in the House of Representatives, joined by 35 Republicans, voted to create a bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The bill faces an uncertain fate in the Senate, where it needs 10 yes votes by Republicans. Scott made it clear he will not be one of them.
I completely oppose it. The FBI is doing their job. Right? They've already arrested over 400 people. They're prosecuting people for breaking into the Capitol. What people did that day, I was here, is despicable. They need to be held accountable. The FBI is doing their job. We don't need a commission that ultimately will act in a partisan manner.
Why do you think it would be partisan? Because I think there would be people from both sides on a commission.
It always ends up, those things, like that, what value are they going to add?
Former President Donald Trump on Thursday sharply criticized Republicans, the latest example of the former commander-in-chief trying to influence the direction of the party after being voted out of office. Is it good for your party that former President Trump is so involved?
Well, look, I want everybody to get involved and help us win races. So everybody that has a following, I want them all to help us win races. We have 20 Republican seats that we have to defend, 14 Democrat seats that we have a chance of taking.
Should the president be taking sides in primaries, and could this be a drag on your party?
So I don't get involved in primaries. What I recommend to everybody is to wait and let the primary happen, let the voters of that state pick their candidate, and then get involved after that.
Now, it seems pretty likely that President Trump is going to play a role in these 2022 Senate races one way or another. Tammy?
Samantha-Jo live in Washington, D.C. Thank you. When the